Oh, hello. Didn't see you there. Welcome to Storytime number 2. Should not be as graphic as Storytime number 1, but still should be fun. So, let's get into it. What's this one? Here we go. This is the time I cut off 3 of my fingers, approximately these ones. Now, I have told this story before. I know I have. And you may be thinking, Nick, you have all of your fingers. And I would be lying if I would say anything other than correct. Yes, I do. So, here's the story. So, because I've told this one so many times, I can actually remember in pretty vivid detail most of the actual specifics of this story. So, we're going to break it down. Obviously, did not cut off my fingers. Here they are. Ladies. I don't... Men. I used to be a bit of a liar. But the stories I'm going to tell you guys, 100% true. They may involve things I lied about before. So that's meted out that way. When I was in, I want to say, sophomore year of high school, I was in the middle of my pathological lying phase. Definitely got it from my mother. Needed attention. That's why I do it now. Instead of that, I just tell stories to strangers to get out my attention needs. And what I had said was, I just went onto Facebook, which is a horrible start to a story, and dates me a little bit. I just typed out, just got back from the hospital. I wanted attention, and that's how you get it. You lie. And immediately, and I mean immediately, I don't get this kind of response now, so I'm a little annoyed. I had a bunch of people I knew from high school and friends and stuff being like, "Oh my god, what happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened?" I was like, this has gone further than I expected immediately. Now I could do what a responsible, normal human would do and say, "Hey, I lied. Like a liar. That's not true. I'm fine. Thank you. Sorry for the outburst." Cut and run. Or I could get much more sociopathic with it and just go, alright, this is Facebook, meaning I don't have to respond right away. I can come up with a better plan and a better story. I can think about this. I don't have to do this exactly on my feet. And so I did, because sociopathic. Back then, not now. And I was like, okay, I gotta think of a story. Okay. Got it. So, here's the story that I told. And I told it in text, and then I also told it in person several times. So here's the story. So when I say, and then I told him the story, you know what the story is. Story. So, it's like, yeah, I had just gotten back from school. My mom, that's actually not how the story started. So, my mom needed to go grocery shopping, and she wanted me to come, so she headed out to the car, and she said, "Hey, can you go grab the keys?" And at my house, we have a little key holder thing. We keep it near the sink. So I went to grab it, and it fell, and it slid into the middle of the sink and went down the drain. And I was like, "Oh shit!" So I immediately went to grab it. I could sort of feel them, but I couldn't tell where they were. So I went to go hit the light switch. This is the part where you can some people catch on what's going to happen immediately, where they're like, "Nick, no," and then other people are like, "What? I don't get it. Why do you?" And those are people who live in apartments with poor facilities, and I'm sorry for you. I've also lived there, so don't worry about it. If you don't know what I'm about to be referencing, I'll try and break it down for you. When you have a garbage disposal in your sink, there are usually 2 switches next to each other. There's one that controls the light above the sink, And then immediately next to it is the garbage disposal. You don't know what a garbage disposal is. It disposes of garbage. And by doing that, it has a few razor blades in the sink. Just chop, 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 chop. And we'll mince it. And it'll make a really awful sound as it's doing it. So, the story was, dropped the keys in the sink, went down the drain, went to go grab them, couldn't find them, went to go turn the light on to try and figure them out, and then immediately flipped the wrong switch while my hand was still in there. So, what had happened was, I immediately hurt myself and I immediately turned it off, but the damage is already done. I'd cut my fingers, pretty badly. Now, I had never said in the story that I cut 3 of my fingers off. What I said was I cut up my fingers really badly, and I could see the bone on my ring finger. That was it. People embellished. So I said this on Facebook. I'd typed out most of that, basically giving the story, and people were like, "I don't believe you," and "Oh my God," depending on their level of gullibility. So I was like, okay, that's done. Got my attention fix. So tomorrow, obviously, I'm going to go into school. I'm going to say, hey, I was lying for attention. Please like me. Or we could see how far this could go. Now, because I'm still talking like this in a storytelling kind of way, you can probably guess which I chose. And that is to go even further, plus ultra. And so I went into school, and I was like, okay, well, my hand is not damaged. How do I hide that my hand is not damaged? Now, you may be thinking, well, Nick, obviously common sense dictates you could just use, an ace bandage or something. Just wrap up your hand and say it was pretty bad. And I would say to you, that would have been a good idea. Good, yeah. I mean, in hindsight, yeah, I can also think that would have been a better idea than what I did. Which, this is not what I did, but I'm going to try and give you a semi-accurate representation. So I basically went in, and I said, I went in and had a winter glove on. Now, this may have passed and been less weird if it wasn't May or April. It was one of those 2 months where we're not wearing winter gloves anymore. It's raining out. You don't need gloves in the rain. So I basically went around all day just going, yeah, it's pretty, yeah, obviously the hand is bandaged under this. It looks kind of gross, and they told me not to mess with it, so I just put this glove on over it just because, honestly, I'm a little embarrassed by it, but I don't want to show anyone. And then I didn't move my fingers or my arm or my hand all day. And obviously, some people were like, bullshit. And then I wore them down eventually. So here's what happened. I walk in, I immediately go talk to my friends, and they're like, bullshit. Except for 1 or 2 who are like, holy shit. And they're like, you believe me? And they were like, why would he lie about this? Which is a good question to ask. And they weren't wrong. But I did lie about it, if you'll remember from the earlier part of this. So basically, I just sold it by just going like this all day. Yeah, make fun of me as much as you want. It's stupid. I know it is. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it was a lot of pain, and I'm glad I got to the hospital when I did. And be like, no, I didn't cut them off, obviously, but I did cut them pretty badly, so they need to stay bandaged for a while. And people asked pretty good questions, like, how did you see a doctor so quickly? How did you get discharged so quickly? Why are you in school the next day? All of which I just sort of dodged and just didn't answer. I was just like, I don't know. They did it pretty quickly. The emergency room saw me. They said I could take the day off, but I've already taken too many days off. So, again, do you see how well that was acted? That's not good. I shouldn't be able to do that. So, a weird thing happens as school goes by. So, we go into our first class. I explained to everyone in the class, I explained to the teacher, and they're like, alright. Again, people don't believe me at first, but because I just keep committing to it, eventually they're just like, I think he's telling the truth. I don't know why. I don't think he would lie this long. And I think he's like, I don't know why he would lie about this. He hasn't broken when we ask him questions. I think he's telling the truth. So before the start of second period, something weird had happened, which is this had spread through the entire school, which was outside my parameters. I had thought maybe this would spread between my friends, or like acquaintances, but people who I didn't know, grades above me, below me, who like were just saying, yeah, one of these kids cut his fingers out. Like a horrible game of telephone. I was like, this was unexpected. But then it was also like, let's relish the chance. Let's see how far this can go. Even further. And I did. So then I went through second period. Same deal as first. It was just sort of like explaining it, and people are like, wow, oh my god. Now more and more people are believing me. Because they're going to get corroborated from other people, even though the other people also don't know what they're talking about. So now we get to third period. Third period was what we called long block. Meaning it was about half an hour, 45 minutes longer than our normal class. It would like rotate every so often. Yeah. Long block today was guitar class. I had played guitar with my right hand, which I was doing this all day with. So I sat with a guitar in my lap, looking at the same 3 songs, or like sheet music, and just sort of like that for the entire time. And my friend Phil, at the time, who was there in the beginning, like before like first class, when like I told him, he was like, bullshit, no way. He had definitely been on the fence, because he was like, he kept being like, nah, no way, no, and he just kept like laughing about it. But like, so like when we start the class, he's just like staring at me like, yeah, did you think about this? Did you think this would happen? Which, to be fair, totally right. I had not thought that far. So, but then but then at the end of that class, because the same thing, I just kept up with it. He'd just been like, shit, I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know if he believed me, but I don't think he like was fighting it as much anymore. So I was like, victory. I see this as a complete win. So the day keeps going. We get to math class. Now, there was one kid, who I won't name him, but he was more of an acquaintance. He was like a school friend where it's like, I'd talk to him in class, but we wouldn't hang out outside of class, and I don't talk to him now. So like, obviously it wasn't good enough to keep up the friendship. But he had, like, immediately, I saw him in the hall, and he was just like, dude, there's no fucking... I'm like, alright, I'm gonna level with you. It's not true. Because I knew he would never believe me. He just wouldn't. And he would not only not believe me, he would try and undermine me. Where he would just, like, poke at it throughout the entire class. And I was like, I have to nip this in the bud. I have to get him on my side. I'm hoping he's sociopathic enough to help me with this lie. And he was. So I was just like, dude, I'm going to completely level with you. It's not true. It's funny. Let's see how far we can go with this. And he was like, okay. And I was like, oh, that was so much easier than I thought it was going to be. This is the sociopathic part where it's like, I knew who I couldn't convince. And I had to tell them. So, get through math class with the help of this kid. So that's good. My final class of the day was English, which, you know, my favorite class. English is great. But we were typing today. I don't know if you know a lot about typing, being the year 2020. You need 2 hands to type. So I spent the class trying to type an essay going, and I will never forget this, because we had, in my sophomore year, I had this teacher, and I will name him because he's a great guy, Mr. Beatty. Now, Mr. Beatty was a young guy, very gay, like very gay. And I'm friends with him on Facebook, I think, and if it turns out he's not gay, I'm fucking shocked. I mean, I supported him then, I support him now if he is, but I was like, there's no fucking way. Because he's one of those people who's just like, oh, Nicholas, why would you have to do this to yourself like this? Oh, it's such a shame. But like, the more offensive way to do that was like, oh my god. Like, my Valley Girl voice and my gay voice are more or less the same. But I'm not going to do that because that's a harmful stereotype. That being said, very flamboyant, very feminine. Pretty sure he was gay. He had never talked about his love life, which is smart, and to not talk about your love life to a sophomore class of mostly bullies. He had a really rough English class. We had like at least 5 of the bullies, which I got really good at diffusing bullies because I got really good with my silver tongue, but like that was still a dangerous class to be in. Just luckily there were way easier targets, including the teacher. I didn't have to worry about it. Anyway, he just I just remember how he looked at me, and this was like one of the first times I felt shame that day, and this was the last class of the day, so that's a bad thing for me. And he just looked at me, like as he was doing his rounds, like as everyone was typing, he looked at me and just goes, And I was just like, oh, it hurts. I don't like the disapproval look. He didn't say anything. He was just like, So, make it to the end of the day. Kept corroborating my story, kept going through it, and made it out. Got home, and I was like, Jesus Christ, took the glove off. Hand was completely, like, pruned from, like, sweating, because it's April and May. Or May, I don't know which. And I'm wearing a fucking glove all day. And, then I go into school the next day, and I'm like, nope, completely made it up. Which, thank God I did. Because imagine, and not because it was the right thing to do, but because I was bored. I was like, I tire of these games. Which, again, sociopathic. Very glad I'm not like that anymore. High school was a weird time. And so I go in, and people are like, oh, I didn't fucking believe you. There was no way. And I was like, you did. You definitely did. And then, so, word had got out. There was a few people, and I will give immense credit to a lot of these people, because they're the people who I'm still friends with today, because I appreciated their honesty. Like, Carlos and I's friend, Andrea, straight up went to me and was like, that was fucking hilarious. I completely believed you. And I was like, thank you. That makes me feel great inside. And that was the kind of positive reinforcement I'd been craving, so that was good. And then there was a lot of other people like, oh, I didn't believe it. And I'm like, but you did. So, I would argue, genuinely, 90% of the school had believed me. And that's not an overestimation. I've had a lot of years to think about that. 90% of the school had believed me. A mix of great acting, great personality, and just why would he lie about that? So, here is the fallout to that. Here is my, like, karmic justice desserts. After high school, I worked in a convenience store in my hometown. And I worked the overnight shifts. So I would see a lot of, like, my former classmates, whether it be visiting from college for break, people who stayed in town and would just, like, come in, on the weekend or something like that. I have heard my own story repeated back to me more times than I have told it. Which is very annoying. Really annoying. To the point where it would always be the same thing. Every time. And it would drive me fucking crazy. Which is Zalis. Which, first of all, bad start. My name is Nick. Zalis is... I love my last name as well. There's no wrath of my name. But if you say Zalis, then that's immediately me going like, oh, okay. We're not friends. That's why you're calling me Zalis. Got it. They would go, Zalis, do you remember that time in high school when you cut 3 of your fingers off? And I'd be like, you're getting the story wrong. And also, of fucking course I remember it. How would I forget that? I'd be like, oh, shit, I did do that. Oh my god, thank you for reminding me. But it was just like every single person. I would say of my graduating class, like, that same 90% that I said believed it, I would say 90% of the people that I went to high school with and graduated in my class, which is of like about, I don't know, between 100 and 180, math is hard, people have told me, remember that time. And I'm like, yes, Jesus Christ, yes. Just stop bringing it up. I remember it. It was awesome. You believed it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm so fucking sick of it. Which is my punishment, and I deserve it. So that's fine. Genuinely. You're going to hear about this again because I have my 10-year high school reunion because I'm fucking old. Not this year, but next year. And I fucking guarantee I'm going to hear it at least 10 times. And I'm going to be like, stop. Please stop. 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 Yes, I remember. Of course I remember. But yeah, that's the story of the time I cut 3 of my fingers off. But not really, obviously. Sort of clickbaity. But like, was the story bad? Was the clickbait worth it? Were you like, oh, I thought I was going to hear about robotic fingers. Sorry. Yeah, that's that one. Thanks for tuning into Storytime Sunday number 2. Enjoy. I don't know what number 3 is. I had a list and I forgot them as I was telling that story, so I'll see you next time. Alright, hey guys, I'm going to try to do this really quick this time. I want to thank everyone who is on Patreon and on YouTube for the month of December. I kind of skipped November a little bit. It's the same people. I'm sorry. I was pretty absent for most of December. But we're back. Here we go. So I want to thank Rev, Sean, Norm P, and Annie with the $1. I want to thank Carlos and Wesley for the $2. I want to thank Azur for the $3. I want to thank John Barnett and Maz for the $5. I want to thank Sean Thomason, Connor Salverwald, and Eniac for the $10. And yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you. I appreciate just being on part of Patreon at all. And then also, I want to thank again some of the same names: Maz, Louisa, and Eniac for all being subbed for 10 months. You're getting really close to that War Greymon badge on YouTube. That's fucking awesome. I want to thank John Barnett, Raptax, Electric Narwhal, and Michael Smith for the 9 months. You guys just behind them. And I want to thank Mayo and Donut Zavi for the 6 months. You guys just earned your Metal Greymon badge in the comments. That's dope. But yeah, thank you guys. As a reminder, anyone who's part of the Patreon or YouTube stuff gets access to early videos. I haven't really explained as much of them for a while, but because I just recorded like 14, I'll go over them. So right now there's 1 Metal Gear Solid part. I think there's a total of 6 Yu-Gi-Oh parts that haven't been released yet. We got 1 Digimon. That'll be out on Friday, though. And then we have Paper Mario. We've got Ori and the Blind Forest. We've got the Borderlands 3 with the fucking boys. Yeah, that's out. Or not out yet, but that's going to be out, and you can get a sneak peek right now. And we've got Cat Quest 2. We've got 6 more Pikmin videos. I have to look up to remember what I recorded. But yeah, we got those, and always more videos being added and stuff like that. I coasted because I recorded a bunch and I was coasting for a while. I'm trying to get back on it and recording more. So, yeah, just small perk. Also, look at this. Fucking, I got this for my birthday. But yeah. Thanks, guys. That's it. There's an update with the Platinum Project 2020. Win a $25 Amazon gift card. If you want to know how to do that, watch the video. It's like 4 minutes long. I think you can handle it. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Thank you, and see you next month.